Matchweek 31, City and Liverpool victories, setting up a spectacular that may very well decide the title in Matchweek 32. Two big London losses, Chelsea and Arsenal dropping points in terrible fashion. What that means for their future aspirations as far as the Champions League go. Some other games between United, Everton, Tottenham, all pushing for top four. We'll cover what happened in those matches, along with everything else from the weekend. This is the Premiership Perusal podcast.
Manchester City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero! Back, Fuchs, and the ball in behind Damian Vardy! It's 11! It's heaven for Jamie Vardy!
You are an ostrich. Well, your head must be in the sand. Is your head in the sand? Are you flexible enough to get your head in the sand?
Now the fans are shouting every week, Louis van Gaal's army! Louis van Gaal's army!
Feet after a fabulous start, the game just got away from you there.
I have nothing to say.
Nothing to say about the game at all.
Drama from day one! This is the league we want to watch!
Wow. Would you look at that? We're live.
Live.
Back again for another week
Live and
of the Premier League.
Better than ever.
Winding down the season.
Better than ever. Unlike Watford.
back from the last international break of the season.
Get it out of here.
Yeah, get it out of here.
Trash
Go on.
out of here.
Go on. Get.
Go on, get.
Go on.
Go on, get. Let's hop right into it.
Look here. Look. Listen. It's time for the Premier League.
Beating Watford 2-0. It's not going to fix it.
Yeah, starting off, I mean, these first games right after the international break have a tendency to be a little bit rough on the eyes.
Well, they have to throw them out there when they're setting the schedule because they're like, people are just dying for Premier League. So, even though they'll be the lowest of the low, they'll still want to watch. But if we threw something amazing and then followed it up with these games, then people would be let down severely.
Right. It's kind of like when you present first in class. Like, there's no bar for anyone to have expectations
Exactly.
on.
Unless you're us and you know that any of these games, like Norwich and Brighton, suck.
Yes, absolutely.
So the first one, Liverpool, Watford. Let's check out the lineups. Alisson, Van Dijk, Joe Gomez, Andrew Robertson, Joel Matip, Thiago, Henderson, Jones, Firmino, Salah, Jota. It's a little rotation at the front there. Foster, Kamara, Femenia, Samir, Kabasele, Louza, Sissoko, Sarr, Henderson. Referring to Cucho as Henderson.
Henderson?
Yeah.
You mean Hernandez?
No, it's Henderson. Kuchka and Joao Pedro.
Yeah, surprisingly, Watford got off to a pretty good start in this game.
Yeah, they're hanging in there, creating some chances. Liverpool's backline still looked pretty solid compared to some momentary lapses we've seen, but I thought the main thing for Liverpool that was a little alarming at first early in the game was their attack just was not dynamic in the first 15 minutes. That was pretty lackluster for going against Watford's defense.
Yeah, it definitely looked like Watford, whether it was that they were more rested or what have you, but Watford looked the better team to start out the game, probably about for the first 20 or so minutes up until the goal. Yeah, Watford looked pretty lively. Looked like they were, somewhat threatening on the counter, in terms of Watford standards.
Yeah, I thought that they were able to get through Liverpool's midfield pretty easily. And I mean, that makes sense as if you're really striking on the counter, you're clearly bypassing the midfield and going right to the defense. But the game really kind of turned on its head. The 2-on-1 break, Kuchka shot saved by Alisson. leads to Liverpool kind of having a little counter of their own, a little fast build-up, results in a Jota header for a goal. Great cross, Joe Gomez.
Yeah, I was surprised Joe Gomez was playing in a more attacking role. Normally, you'd expect Trent Alexander-Arnold be pushing up there, and then you look at Joe Gomez coming in as a substitute, you'd say,
It's not going to be like for like.
yeah, it's probably going to be more defensive, but he was still pushing up pretty far on the right-hand side.
Mm-hmm. Was a little disappointed in Mr. Ben Foster, getting there a little late. Couldn't read that one as well. Maybe it's the legs. He's a little older.
Yeah.
Can't move as well.
Yeah.
Jota had another chance in the first half from close range. Foster able to make a big save on this one at 37.
Yeah. Goes into halftime 1-0. Watford have a chance after the break, 57th minute. João Pedro, great chance, goes just wide. Really should have done better on that one.
I know they didn't check because he didn't score. Was he off?
It looked like he was
close.
offside. Yeah.
It looked pretty close. Yeah, Jota had another great chance to score. The Watford defending on that free kick routine was so bad.
Yeah, somehow Jota just finds himself wide open in the box.
It was so bad. No one was like marking anyone there. They're just kind of jogging around. They're like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought even continuing in the second half, Liverpool weren't doing much with the possession. It just kind of felt like this game was lackluster. Even we normally say like Liverpool's results are much greater than their performances this year, but this felt like really just like they couldn't be bothered to even like try. They're like, all right, we're gonna get a goal or two, and then we'll just see it out.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of looked similar to the performance against Arsenal, where it was just like nothing is really flowing offensively, but then they get their chance and they score on that chance. And 87th minute, they get a penalty after Kuchka takes down Jota in the box.
Little wrestling.
Wrestling. Fabinho steps up, Mr. Penalty Taker himself. Seals the 2-0 win.
Yeah.
Overall, I thought this performance was pretty poor from Liverpool. There's a small bug flying.
Yeah, it's a little gnat.
Yeah. It's actually Liverpool in the form of a bug. It was a disappointing performance from Liverpool's perspective. And when I look at performances like this, I think that if they keep playing like this, they're not going to win the title.
We keep saying that. Eventually,
they're
it has
just
to catch up to him.
overperforming. Yeah.
It's got to catch up to him, but you know what? All that matters is the results. They're grinding them out. Good job on their part. As far as Watford go, slightly hard done. I mean, you didn't take your chances, so you really only have yourself to blame. The defense held up relatively well. For going into the game, you would have thought they would have been smoked from the get-go. So,
yeah, I think from a Watford perspective, it was a good performance. Obviously, could have got something out of it, whether it be a goal. Or...
You wouldn't even say that loss was a morale boost, but it wasn't a complete deflator. If you go in and you lose 6-0, you're like, uh-oh.
No, I feel like that was still something to build on. There was, a good performance at Anfield. You lost, but I think you can kind of carry some momentum going forward.
I think it just keeps you at least neutral frame of mind. You're like, 2-0, they're better than us. That's how it goes. But if it was way worse, they would have been absolutely demoralized. Speaking of demoralization, that is what Aston Villa feel when they play Wolves this season.
Absolutely.
To the lineups, Sammy.
Jose Saw, Willy Bully, Connor Cody, Kilman, Marsal, Johnny, John Montinho, Dendonker, Podence, Trincao, and Silva. So quite a bit of rotation in there. Obviously, no Jimenez with that red card in the last match.
What are you going to do when you got the Spanish Reece James, Johnny Otto?
Johnny.
Is
it Yoni?
Nope, not anymore. We don't believe in that.
For Villa, Martinez, Cash, Konsa, Mings, Digne, McGinn, Sanson, Coutinho, Jacob Ramsey, Ollie Watkins, and Leon Bailey. So a little bit different coming out of Villa there, too.
Yeah, a little rotation on both ends. Try to throw a curveball or changeup the other team.
Yeah.
Say what you think about this.
Well, let me tell you what someone thought of this.
Wolves hit the curveball.
Wolves.
That was Aston Villa early on.
Yeah, Wolves didn't start out the game very good, but they got off to a good start in the 6th minute, getting the first goal of the game, capitalizing on a couple of slips out of Konsa and McGinn. Podence can't get the original shot to go in, but Mr. Johnny himself, the Spanish Reece James,
Just a banger.
as he's been dubbed.
Just an absolute banger. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate because it was just a bunch of mistakes by Villa defensively. They were capitulating for no reason.
It was
panicking.
It was bad.
Panicking. Especially McGinn too. You normally don't see that out of him, and I mean this was just really one of.
Yeah.
He had a few maybe smaller mistakes, but I thought he had a pretty decent game, minus this part. Could have been a good game if he didn't have this, but.
Yeah, really. I mean, it was after the first 15, things really settled down for Villa, but there was another chance.
Fabio Silva had one too. That was really good.
Yeah, right after Fabio Silva gets in behind.
Mr.
Can't get the
Mings
finish right.
giving that away, right?
Yeah, that was Mings. Very poor. So just overall poor defensive play coming out of Villa, especially the center backs. And Wolves, they were piling on the pressure, but couldn't find the second goal.
Mm-hmm.
And to Villa's credit, they survived the wave of Wolves and started to get back into the game.
Yeah, able to kind of calm things down, keep possession.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
Yes.
It could have been
down
3-0.
Yeah.
30th minute, Leon Bailey has a long-range shot, nicely saved by Mr. Jose Sa. Really the first chance of the game for Villa.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Villa are getting back into the game, but then
That defense.
Ashley Young messes up this time. Poor clearance, and the ball ends up in the back of his own net.
Bar down.
Yeah, that was...
Maybe it wasn't bar down, but it was definitely off the bar.
I don't think it was, but not a good one.
Yeah, it's just the sense of panic out of Villa's defense, and I'm not sure why. It wasn't
Yeah.
I mean, Wolves are getting in good spots and stuff, but with the way Wolves finish, why would you be panicking against, it'd be one thing if you're going against a team that finishes excellent.
Yeah, it's almost like that early goal really just rocked Villa after they started off the match, the better team, and they were like, oh,
Yeah.
Wolves with a few chances before halftime through Podence, Trincao, and Dendoncker. But again, Villa survived the second wave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that just as a general first half trend that I noticed, there was so much space for Wolves to work with when they transitioned from defense to attack.
Yeah.
It's just once they had the ball, they already had numbers where they had the ball. So, yeah, and like you're saying, a few chances before the end of half. Dendoncker with probably the best one.
Yeah.
Not able to take it.
Yeah, and it was at that point I'm thinking, man, Wolves, you really want to see them put away these chances and really solidify that lead, because we saw they blew a 2-0 lead to Leeds.
Yeah.
And you don't want that to happen.
No, you don't need to be blowing leads out here, Wolves. We know your defense is good. It's not great. We thought it might have been great. It's good. But you're going 2-0. You take that, even though it could be 5-0.
Yep.
You come out early in the second half, and you just keep attacking. And that's when I did get kind of Leeds vibes from it. Oh, man, they're just going to keep going for it. And, normally I wouldn't hate that because you can't just sit back, because that's kind of what Wolves eventually ended up doing that one game, and it completely collapsed on them. So,
Yeah.
But, yeah, the attack definitely left something to be desired from Wolves in this game, and we've been saying that for a good portion of the year.
Yep.
Also, wanting a little more out of someone, Ollie Watkins on the break.
Yeah, absolutely. Great chance, played in behind by Ashley Young, but the shot goes just wide. And I was thinking throughout this game, I don't know if it's maybe I'm off target in this thought, but my feeling for this season overall is that the level of finishing has been lower.
Yeah.
There's been just a real lack of quality in terms of the final third, people being truly clinical with their chances. Maybe that's just the direction that the game's going.
You sacrifice a little attack for more of a defensive prowess from each guy. And work rate, too.
Or the sacrifice of like a strictly out-and-out striker for someone who can create more chances.
Yeah.
But overall, that was kind of what I was thinking, and it's disappointing to see.
It might be kind of dumb to say this, but because, I mean, teams we talked about this before, where it's like teams are probably just trying to go for a more balanced than out-and-out guy, but look at the goal-scoring numbers by individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Very low.
Yeah, that was going to be my next point, exactly. I'm glad you touched on that. But
back to the game.
Chance
for João Moutinho. Shot blocked, falls to Hwang. Nice little dribble move. Nice little drag.
Yeah, that
creates
was
the space. Nice. Puts it wide. Pretty unfortunate. Next big chance fell for Coutinho, who he didn't really notice much this game. One of those games from Coutinho.
Yep.
Shows up, 73rd minute. Strong shot saved by Jose Sa. And then we get a very strange penalty. Sa clashing into Watkins.
Yeah, that was.
Watkins barely got a touch on it, and then Sa just completely annihilated him.
Yeah, I guess it was just enough that...
Because I don't think he's getting to that again.
No.
And if he is...
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's going out.
I think it had more to do with the level of the contact.
Nature. Yeah, he just completely rocked him.
Mm-hmm.
Watkins steps up, gets his goal.
Almost misses the penalty.
Almost.
Off the post and in.
Sets it to 2-1. End of the game, just a whole lot of scrapping. Just a lot of
scrapping. You're getting really nervous
scrapping.
at this point if you're Wolves.
Yeah, you definitely are. But
yeah, it was
when you just waste time by trying to fake fight everyone.
Yeah.
And then make Villa send in a couple long balls, and what do you know? You got your win. So, good result for Wolves. Decent performance. I'd say a little above average. Especially since you didn't have your main striker, you're still able to get 2 goals. But
yeah,
ideally should have done a little better. Semi-unlucky not to have a clean sheet. I mean, the other team didn't really finish that well, but, and you kind of gave away a dumb penalty. But as far as Villa go, we've been here before. Disappointment. We expect more out of them.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at guys like Coutinho and Ollie Watkins, you need those guys to be performing. And not to mention the defense starting off on the wrong foot.
What did we talk about last week with Villa's trends? When they play bad and lose, when they lose, it's like the whole team that plays bad.
Yeah.
So you get these defensive errors in midfield and defense. You have no real semblance of attack minus a few shots from Leon Bailey, maybe one from Coutinho.
Mm-hmm.
Watkins on a one-on-one break, doesn't score. Just not good.
Yeah, not good. I mean, really, Villa has to step it up on all levels of the pitch. We know what they're capable of. They just need to be able to bring that more often than they are right now.
Execution.
Yeah.
Speaking of execution, there was a public execution. No, it wasn't quite that bad. City, Burnley is what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
A little domination by City, but Burnley able to hang in there. We'll get to the lineups. Start off with Burnley. We're going to have Nick Pope, Charlie Taylor, James Tarkowski, Connor Roberts, Kevin Long. Shout out Kevin Long.
Who are
Cork,
you? I'm not sure.
Josh Brownhill, Dwight McNeil, Aaron Lennon, Ashley Westwood. Well, this is what happens when there's no me. Voot. And then for City, we have Ederson, Walker, Ake, Laporte, Cancelo, Gundogan, Rodri, De Bruyne, Sterling, Grealish, and Phil Foden.
That's Jack Gucci Grealish to you.
Oh, Gucci Grealish. It rolls right
Gucci
off the tongue.
Grealish.
So good.
Yeah, this game went about as you would expect. City, right off the bat, establishing control of the game, getting a goal, 5th minute. De Bruyne finding space in the box to get the shot off, and City take the early lead on the 5th minute.
Yeah,
nice half volley.
Nice passing sequence from City on that one to get the ball to Sterling, and then Sterling cutting it back a little bit. Kevin De Bruyne slots it. Poor marking from Mr. Dwight McNeil to completely sag off one of the best players in the world. Not a good idea.
Yeah, that little space in between the defenders and the midfield would prove to be kind of the Achilles heel for Burnley in this game, because time after time, City players were getting in that half space and just causing all sorts of problems for the Burnley defense.
Yeah, and I don't get it. It's like, okay, so you have your back line, and then you have the other level of the defense, the defense and then the midfield.
Yeah.
And if the midfield's just going to stand on the edge of the box, I mean, I don't get what that is. You might as well just pack the box. What are you going to try and, like, have somewhat a semblance of a counter against City? I didn't get that.
Yeah, and you're not going to really press either.
Yeah.
So
if you're in the box, you're probably going to block the shot anyways if they're shooting from the edge of the box.
Yeah, I was
just pack the box.
Pretty surprised that they were finding that much space in the box against Burnley. But City continued to push after the goal, maintaining possession nicely. Burnley really getting nothing going.
Burnley had a fat 15% possession in the first 20 minutes. That sums up the game.
Yeah, that's rough. City were just hitting them with the high press, and Burnley could not get past that at all. It'd be like one or two passes, and then they'd lose the ball again.
Yeah, Kevin Long.
That's
all I got to say.
City get the second goal, 25th minute. Gundogan popping up in almost the same exact spot. Again, on the volley. Past Pope. I think Pope could have done better on this one.
Yeah.
Disappointing for Burnley.
What can you say? Man City going to work it. Gundogan playing well out there this game. Yeah. So give him the goal. I think Burnley went into City's box at the 34th minute for the first time. Might be the second time. So
yeah,
that's about my notes for that first half. Second half, City did have a couple chances for number 3. Pope made some saves. And then, I felt like City not really kind of sagged off in terms of intensity, but they weren't as...
They were coasting.
Yeah, they're taking it easy.
Yeah, evidenced by Burnley nearly scoring off of the quickly taken free kick. But Cornet's header cleared off the line. Probably was offside too.
Yeah. Couple non-offside calls in that sequence, which was great. But it led to the Nathan Ake goal line clearance, which was amazing.
Very strange. Gabby Jesus coming in.
He had some chances.
He could not score them.
He could not score them.
He reminded us why he should not be having those chances. He should be the one that's kind of out wide creating chances, but not the one to take the chances.
No.
Easily could have scored. 87th minute coming down to the end of the game. Ashley Barnes getting subbed on. Has a chance to find Cornet at the back post, but gets it all wrong. And that seals the deal for City. A nice 2-0 win. No harm, no foul.
Really good performance by City. Kind of confused by Burnley's first half. Kind of just strategy and sequence, what they're really going for.
Yeah.
Not much else you can say about that one.
Yeah.
To the next one. One of the ultimate surprises, to say the least. What can you say? Chelsea.
For sure.
I don't know. You wouldn't say Brentford's really a relegation threat, but Chelsea does lose to these like a lower level.
Once a year.
Yeah.
Once a year.
Generally late in the year. Sometimes it's November, but a lot of times it's April.
A lot of times it happens after the last international break for whatever reason.
Yes. To the lineups: Mendy, Rudiger, Alonso, Silva, Dave, Conte, Loftus, Cheek, Mr. Mount, Werner, Ziyech, Havertz. As far as Brentford go, we have Raya, Ayer, Rico Henry, Pinnock, Jensen, Roslev, Nurgaard, Eriksson, Janelt, Tony, and Buemo.
Yeah, Tuchel thought he could get away with the banter lineup of having Loftus-Cheek in there like earlier in the season, but...
Not a chance.
Not so much.
Not a chance.
Yeah, Brentford got off to a good start. 6th minute, had a chance for Tony.
Top 5 goal scorer in the Premier League, Ivan Toney.
Mendy with a terrible pass straight to Tony.
You should have known right from the get-go that this was just going to be a bad Chelsea game when Mendy just dropped that for no reason. Should have been a goal.
Yeah, should have been.
Just got the chip a little wrong, put it a little high.
Yeah, and I didn't think he really needed to go with the chip.
He did. He probably could have just walked him a little more and then slotted it, but
yeah. Another chance for Ivan Toney at the back post. Nice ball from Henry, but can't convert.
Mm-hmm.
Brentford, great start to the game, you got to say.
Yeah, to say the least. It felt like any time they were on the ball, they were immediately creating chances to score.
Which was like so strange because
they
all
didn't
season
do that.
it's just been terrible where there's like no link up between the midfield and the forwards, but for some reason this game they were like vibing.
Mr. Frank has them going, and I tell you what, Eriksson provides that different dynamic. Teams actually have to kind of respect the fact that Brentford have some attacking presence in the midfield now. Norgard and Jensen, yes, they're good players. They don't have much going forward. Eriksson at least provides that.
I thought Roslev was playing well also.
Both wingbacks, Roslev and Henry, both outplayed Chelsea's wide players.
Yeah,
I would say. I thought they did a good job in terms of spacing, especially like we were just talking about that wide spacing, to limit Chelsea and make them kind of go side to side when Chelsea's in attack.
Yeah.
They really couldn't get like anything going. I'd say the best chance for Chelsea in the first half was probably the Ziyech chance.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't an amazing chance, but I think it was going in. Big save, David Raya. Fantastic game from him when he was called upon.
Yeah.
So it goes in 0-0. Honestly, kind of a boring half. And then the second half, that's where it picks up.
Yeah, I was surprised it was 0-0 because, I watched this game after the fact and I was like 4-1, but no goals in the first half. Really?
Yeah.
Brentford are going to score 4 goals in one half?
Yes.
I couldn't believe it.
This is the one I watched live this weekend, and I couldn't believe it. I took the doggies out, and I came back, and it was 3-1 after it was 1-1.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
The start of the cursed game began when Rudiger scores an absolute rocket from 40 yards out. One of the goals of the season.
Yeah, it's all downhill from there, Chelsea.
If not the goal of the season, because just 2 minutes later, Vitaly Janelt draws level with a precise finish into the top corner from the first-time strike on the counterattack.
Yeah, it wasn't even just the passing that was amazing this game. It was good finishing, too, by Brentford, which we haven't always seen.
They heard our cries.
Well, no, they heard that we sold before the ultimate exit pump of them. Now they're completely downhill.
Yes.
I guarantee you. Yeah, great play. Yeah, no, great game, especially the second half. Then they get a second right after.
Yep.
Mr. Eriksson. Both set up by Mbeumo, the first two.
Yeah, Mbeumo his link-up play was superb in this game.
Yeah. He's like, hey, I can't really score anymore, so here's some passing.
Yeah, and it seemed like the Chelsea back line was just getting caught out like every possession that
it was very strange in terms of, I don't know, even the midfield was just not where it needed to be relative to where it's almost in a way kind of like Wolves Villa, where it's like as soon as Brentford are on the ball, they got numbers.
Yeah.
They got numbers and they're coming.
Yeah, it was so surprising to see that. And shortly after, quick succession, a third, Janelt with the little kind of chip shot at the near post to beat Mendy.
Janelt makes up for Tony's chips.
Yes. And again, great link-up play. Mbeumo and Ivan Toney linking up the play nicely from the midfield to the end to get Janelt into the nice spot, who finished nicely. Great play. Great team play from Brentford. It wasn't just some scrappy goal like we saw earlier in the season.
No, it was really good plays.
When they beat Norwich 3-1, those goals were like, those were not good
don't
goals.
Tell that to who is ever announcing this game, because they said, Brentford, they have it in them. They played well against Norwich. And it's like,
right.
Okay.
More like it was the Ben Gibson disaster class, 10 minutes. But
speaking of disaster class, after that, it was all Chelsea, baby. And by that, I mean Kai Havertz missed about 10 chances.
Yeah, it's all coming up, Kai.
That's a terrible saying. Should have scored off a set piece, ruled out by a handball. Why did he even handball it? No one knows.
Yeah.
After that, had a few more chances that he put wide.
Yeah.
What can you say?
It was hard to watch.
Where's Lukaku? Where's Lukaku for Chelsea? They need him bad.
But then Brentford come in with the absolute disrespect thrown on Wisa. They're like,
super sub.
we don't even need a goal, and we're going to throw him on.
He's going to just hit a curler out of nowhere. No, that was terrible defending. I mean, that really showed how bad Chelsea were on the day. Mm-hmm. Just two defenders going after one ball. Neither of them get it, and it just falls for Brentford. And
yeah, this one was a crap goal, honestly. But Wisa does what Wisa does, scoring 87th minute.
Wisa.
It's about that time.
Wisa. Well, 4-1, it finishes. And you know what? I got to say, that is a deserved scoreline.
Yeah.
Brentford absolutely took it to Chelsea.
Absolutely.
I don't think you could say anyone really played well for Chelsea besides Rudiger. He wasn't really at defensive faults for most of it, and he had the goal, but even then...
Except the last goal.
Well,
well,
it was already over. Wisa wills his way to those goals. He looks at you menacingly, and then you just panic and run into each other. So you leave the ball for him. Brentford, I mean, this is all but confirms safety for him when we break down the numbers. As far as performance, I mean, I don't know. Is Eriksen part of the future plans? Is he staying there long term? Is this a short term deal? I mean, if it's long term, that's very ideal for Brentford.
Yeah, I don't think so, but
we'll see.
We'll see. You never know. He might like the Danish connection.
Yeah, well, who doesn't love a little Danish connection?
Yeah.
Moving on. Leeds. Southampton.
Into the lineups. Meslier, Ayling, Cooper, Llorente, Dallas, Forshaw, Rafinha, Rodrigo, Harrison, Click, Dan, James up front. For Southampton, Forster, Walker-Peters, Livramento, Salisu, Bednarak, Romeu, Ward-Prowse, El Yunusi, Diallo getting a start, as well as Che McAdams and Broja up front.
This was a reverse Southampton performance, if there ever was one.
Absolutely.
The other team starting fast?
Yeah, Leeds actually looked like kind of classic Leeds that we've come to know over the past couple of years.
But then they incorporated this year's Leeds by missing every chance early on. Dan James, Llorente, Click, all chances with inside the first 5 minutes, and absolutely not taking any of them whatsoever.
Yeah, it was a crazy start to the game.
Dan James had another good chance as it went on at Forrester, and one where he could have laid it off to Rafinha, and Rafinha probably scores. I say probably because you never know, but he's one-on-one with the keep.
Yeah.
Dan James, rough go this game.
Yeah, I don't think he was all too happy about that, not finding him there.
No, to say the least, but they finally get their goal. You called it. You said this man.
This man is going to be the man.
Jack Harrison. Poor clearance by Forrester.
Now that's Southampton goalkeeping.
Yeah. Bad. But good call by Sam on the Jack Harrison goal.
I was feeling very vindicated.
But there's a slight bit of not vindication because it came as a result of how terrible Southampton keeper is and less how good Jack Harrison is.
Well, we don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Yeah, Southampton kind of responded finally.
Mm-hmm.
Your guy Shane McAdams, right at Mr. Meslier.
Yeah, Broja nearly able to get on the rebound, but cannot.
I don't get how Armstrong's not in over Broja now. I love some Broja. He's got to take a little break.
Especially the fact that Broja is on loan.
Yeah.
And you just paid how much for Armstrong?
It You just gotta do something to spice it up, just in general, anyways.
And it's not like Southampton are really pushing for any sort of European spot.
Lies.
Lies.
Nice.
And they're not getting relegated, so you might as well throw in Adam Armstrong.
Walker Peters, good chance. Goes high.
Goes high.
Yeah, I mean the first half was just Leeds being wasteful for the majority of it. I would say the first 25 minutes or so.
Yeah, Southampton started to get into the game second half, the first half.
Which is normally not how it goes. They play well in the first 30, and then it slowly fades from there.
Yeah, I was wondering maybe Leeds, if the stamina was kind of falling off after that very frantic start to the game.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was unsustainable, and it proved to be.
Second half, Kyle Walker-Peters works a free kick somehow, some way, gets in there, wiggles around, makes a move, makes a shimmy.
Little shimmy, a little shake.
Yeah.
Little JWP free kick.
Oh, my goodness. He does it.
He does it again.
He scores when he wants. He scores when he wants. James Ward-Prowse, he scores when he wants.
Yeah, he sure does.
And I will tell you what, this second half was very boring.
Yeah.
Good chance for Broja. Puts it wide from Livramento. Kind of just unfortunate. Again, with the Broja, maybe drop him.
Yeah.
I'd say the majority of the chances came for Leeds in the second half, but there were a bunch of half chances or like crosses that were dangerous, but no one was there.
Right.
Thought there was a pen shout from my boy Joe Gelhart. No one talked about it.
Yeah, I know. It seemed like it went under the radar. He came on, looked good.
And then
He was cooking out there.
chance for Dallas at the end, but saved by Mr. Forrester. It's kind of right at him. So
Yeah.
Finishes 1-1. I guess a good result for Leeds. Decent performance by them. Southampton probably a better result given how the performance was. Is that fair to say? I didn't think Southampton played very well compared to the way Southampton have played this year.
Yeah.
And they easily could have lost if Leeds could shoot the ball.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Going forward, Leeds something to build off of. I wonder, what if the key to success for Leeds is just trying really hard for like 30 minutes and then just hoping for the best?
It could be.
Just
pile it on.
Yeah, just like you did against Wolves. You saved it for the last 30 minutes. And now this against Southampton, you got your one goal, but you couldn't really hold on for the rest of it. But at least you got a goal in the 30 minutes that you tried.
They got the NOS switch. They just got to know when to activate it for the 10 minutes. Because right now they're kind of wasting it, and
Yeah, to say the least.
to say the least.
Let me tell you about wasting away my life
Yes.
watching
I
Norwich City and Brighton and Hove Albion.
and we all knew this was going to be a terrible
Wasting
game.
away in the Amex.
We all knew this was going to be a terrible game, and it was a terrible game.
It literally came down to a coin flip of if you told me and Sam before, because I said 1-0 Brighton, and Sam said 0-0 Brighton.
No, yeah.
And I said I'd pick 0-0, but you never know. If you had told us before that it was going to come down to a Neil Maupay pen, whether it's 1-0 or 0-0, our sides would have been in orbit, and we would have guaranteed you 0-0.
Yes.
To the lineups: Bobby Sanchez, Mark Cucurella, Lewis Dunk, Joel Veltman, Trick Lamptey, Alex McAllister, Pascal Gross, Sally March.
Sally.
It is Sally March.
Sally.
March. Hey, Sally.
Hey, Sally.
Neil Maupay, Leandro Trossard, Danny Welbeck. For Norwich, we got Tim Kroll, Sam Byram, Mr. Ben Gibson, Grant Hanley, the pair center back duo of the Premier League. The dream
team.
The dream pair. Yanulis, Gilmore, Norman, Lees-Malou, McLean, Rashica, Pookie. A little back and forth first 10 minutes. Semi-open, relatively. More open than I thought it would be. It's just mainly, believe it or not, the final attacking sequences that were lacking in quality.
Absolutely.
But even the running around, that was okay for about 10 minutes, and then that went away, and then the game went down south. Yeah, both teams I thought were just looking better when kind of going more in a counter, or I guess just moving faster build up. They're looking better. Anytime it just like came to a halt, it was just done.
Yeah.
It was just done. You might as well play back to your keep and hoof it forward and hope for the best.
These are like the two teams that are the least likely to score from those kinds of positions of just possessing the ball slowly and trying to work it.
Yeah. I would say them. Third to last might be Watford.
Yeah.
Everton, maybe.
Everton just suck.
Speaking of sucking, Sam Byram.
What was that handball?
I have in my notes, Sam Byram handball, lol, Neil Maupay miss, lol.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know what was worse, the handball or the penalty.
When Tim Krul gets in your head and you're not top 5 Premier League goal scorer Ivan Toney, your mind is your psyche's in a pencel sharpener.
See,
okay?
that's the problem.
You don't know what you're gonna do.
Neil Maupay lacks the mental toughness.
Where's like Roy Keane to come on and say that?
If only people actually cared about these god awful games. See, that's why this podcast is the best.
Yeah, we care about whoever you are out there, Brighton fans and Norwich fans. We'll make fun of your team, but at least we talk about them.
Yeah.
We have respect for your team in the sense that we spend time.
And at this point, I feel like both teams, their fans, probably laughing with us.
Yeah.
Because they know the state of their clubs right now.
Brighton with a bunch of good chances, and they put every single shot inches wide, it felt like.
Yeah.
They finally were able to at least create chances this game. Like, it feels like for the longest time, their passing hasn't even been good enough to create the chances. Mm-hmm. This time, the passing was good enough, and it's just they couldn't take the chances.
Yeah.
0-0 at half. Second half, I have this just as a note because I think he missed like 2 or 3 chances, but Neil Maupay is poison to the Brighton attack.
Yes, he is.
It's any chance that fell his way was just so terrible. He just couldn't take it.
To think that man was once a Brentford striker.
Brentford, they're just merchants out here moving guys, and then they tell you no refunds.
no take backsies.
Joel Veltman, big time header, big time save. Tim Krul.
Yeah, that was a great chance. Unfortunately, just straight at Krul.
I have a note between Solly March and Sam Byram almost fight. That was pretty good. My phone auto-corrected it to Silly March.
Silly
we have
March.
Silly Sally March.
Silly Sally March.
Yeah. I thought Norwich actually, I mean, they just packed the box, but their blocking in this game was good, even when they weren't fully packing the box. Hanley and Gibson, but mainly Hanley doing a good job blocking shots. That's about all I got for you from that game. Did you have any other notes?
Rashica possibly had a chance at the end, 79th minute. Had the chance for the volley, but got it all wrong.
No one was cheering for a Norwich goal. I'm sorry, Norwich. No one wanted to see that.
I was cheering for the final whistle.
One of us two had to be right.
Yeah.
And that does not include a Norwich goal.
I felt galaxy brain after that game, knowing that it was going to be crap.
I proved it. I proved how bad it is.
And that just added to the third correct prediction I had.
Going forward, real quick, Brighton, something to build off of, yes or no?
I thought it was.
The passing was better in terms of they were getting in the spaces and stuff. Yeah. The chances takes a little wind out of the sails. With that said, even about the passing, you are playing Norwich.
Yeah.
That might just be why the passing was good. That passing might not have been as good if you're playing a decent team.
Yeah, I thought it was better. But then after the game, Graham Potter comes out and says, fans need to stop and shoot. It's impacting our players. Like, are you kidding me? What, are you supposed to just pass slowly for 90 minutes?
You pass forever.
Graham Potter, I think he's lost his mind. I no longer can side with Graham Potter.
He's turning into...
I can't back this man.
What's his name? Robert Pattinson from the Lighthouse movie. He's lost his mind. He's going to start eating Neil Maupay alive,
Yeah,
cannibal style.
he might.
Beat him up and then eat him. Yeah, not much to say for Norwich. I guess good defensive performance.
They
Mainly
got a
Kroll.
point.
Mainly
Yeah.
Kroll, but good. Something to build off of, I guess. What's the next game? United Leicester.
United versus Leicester.
It's United Leicester.
Last game of Saturday. Saturday.
The lineups.
David De Gea, Harry Maguire, Varane, Dalot, Shaw, Pogba, Fred, Sancho, Alonga, McTominay, and Bruno Fernandes up front. So
No Ronaldo.
no Ronaldo,
He out.
no Cavani.
He do be out.
For Leicester, Schmeichel, Justin, Fofana,
He's back.
welcome back. Johnny Evans, welcome back. Castagna, Barnes, Tielemans, Madison, Mendy, Dewsbury Hall, and Iheanacho.
Dewsbury Hall.
Dewsbury Hall, Dewsbury Hall, Dewsbury Hall,
Where's the EDM house remix? Trap.
Dewsbury Hall,
Yeah, this first half was just terrible.
It rivaled the second half of Southampton Leeds for being awful.
Yeah, I was thinking more West Ham, the United game earlier, which honestly, yeah, against West Ham in the year, where like nothing was going on.
Yeah, this was such a typical United of this past couple years, where they have like possession in the midfield, but do literally nothing to get it into any dangerous areas, and it's just like super safe possession.
The highlight is when they're not safe and it's their defenders passing and they pass it like right to a guy on the other team.
Yeah.
That's like the best part about it. And honestly, Leicester didn't do a ton to separate themselves in quality either. Big chance for Bruno one-on-one, can't score. Iheanacho with a chance inside 30, but again, not much for Leicester attack besides that. So I guess United had the best chance, but they couldn't convert.
Yeah.
And that's really their only chance I remember. Leicester probably had like 2 or 3 kind of chances. So
Yeah, Leicester's performance was kind of similar to United's, where they get the ball but would do nothing.
no.
So goes into halftime, 0-0. My note says nothing happened. 50th minute, after the break, McTominay comes out with a very strong tackle.
Yeah.
Red card.
Could have been
Potentially.
a leg breaker.
Yeah, that's what I thought. No red card given. But Leicester get the first laugh. Iheanacho heads past David De Gea on the counterattack. Great tackle to win the ball back, Mr. Dewsbury Hall.
You can thank this goal because of Fred, because Fred's like, I'm going one-man army, running against 3 guys. And then, I have a note here, Dewsbury Hall, obviously, also to thank, because it was a nice slide tackle to win it back. But what the hell is Fred doing? You're going to take on the whole team by yourself? There's like 3 guys ahead of you.
And he did that like multiple times this game.
Yeah, he's like, no, Ronaldo, this is where I shine. No, you don't. Sit down. Dewsbury Hall says so. Here's a goal for the other team.
Yeah. Nice ball from James Maddison as well.
He was looking really good in the second half. But I tell you what, Fred giveth and Fred taketh, as in he taketh his chance. Terrible defense by Leicester to not realize that there could potentially be a rebound from a laser shot right at Schmeichel.
Yeah.
They thought, you know what? He'll catch it or parry it out. And guess what? They were wrong.
No one ever expects Fred at the back post.
Fred running in. Just a rocket right above Schmeichel's head. Iheanacho had another breakaway. Went for another chip.
Oh.
This one wasn't as bad. It didn't at least curve wide.
Yeah.
But
someone tell him to stop trying to chip, though.
Someone grab Ivan Toney and Iheanacho, and they're going to have a chip off. It's going to be like a home run derby, but for chips.
And everyone's going to hit like one home run, and it's going to be terrible.
Yeah, pretty much. David De Gea, massive save.
Coming up clutch on Fofana.
Mm-hmm. Maddison scores, overturned, well-worked play. United's midfield and I guess their defense, but mainly their midfield and attack, just really couldn't get anything going in terms of possession in this one.
Yeah.
And their defense is obviously holding on by a thread at all times. You just never know. So
Yeah, it was too bad that goal got ruled off for the foul in the build-up. Was a foul.
it was. There's a lot of fouls this week and penalties given, whereas like
Yeah.
the most, like they were the correct calls, but it was like the most marginal contact allowed for that to happen.
Yeah.
Same with this callback. I think there's one in the Arsenal game on Odegaard, and then there's another.
There's one in
Another-
the Everton game.
Yeah, I can't remember which. The
first-
Richarlison
The first goal. It wasn't.
against Burnley.
It was Gordon.
Gordon,
and
maybe.
he went down pretty easily. I think
Yeah.
it was Lowton who just kind of clipped his
Yeah.
ankle.
Anyways, back to this game. Man U this half, so stinky, losing the ball, struggling to win it back. It was pretty much United in a nutshell this game. Sancho ruining possessions at the end. He's just like, you know what I should do? Either just take this shot and it's going to go terrible, or just like give the ball away.
Yeah.
And then Man U with a chance for a penalty at the end. But Elanga, he touches it. Ruins Rashford's moment. They had it.
Well, it's a penalty if you consider United on United contact.
It was a pen.
No, it was a great chance for Rashford in the box, but Elanga said, "Give me the ball, and I'm gonna step up here and get in your way."
Yeah. What can you say?
Ooh, that just summed up United's season in one play.
Just
Friendly fire.
what can you say? Man, you.
Yikes.
So finishes 1-1.
Yeah.
Leicester.
Hey.
I don't know if you say good performance by Leicester.
I think they
think-
could have won.
They could have won. I don't think that means they played well.
No.
I think they played at their threshold. We talked about it.
Yeah.
They play at a certain level. I thought Madison played well.
Yeah.
I thought maybe one or two aspects of their defensive midfield, Mendy and kind of Dewsbury Hall, collectively played pretty decent. But yeah, no, I wouldn't say anything else really stood out. And then United, I mean, what is there to say? I mean, another game where De Gea earns you a point because he makes an amazing save, but
Yeah.
how
Just
far does that get you?
just another disappointing performance again this season.
Let me tell you about disappointment and this season. We have West Ham, and that's not who I'm talking about.
No.
We're talking about their opponent, Everton.
Everton.
To the lineups: Fabianski, Cresswell, Zuma, Dawson, Fredericks, Fornals, Bowen, he's back, Benrahma, Sushek, Rice, Antonio. We got Pickford, Kenny, Keane, Mikolenko, Godfrey. Holgate is now their 6.
Well, to be fair, he did come on late, or
I don't want to hear it.
got-
I don't
he
want to
got
hear it.
put into
Ducore,
the starting lineup
Iwobi,
because
Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin,
because-
and Damari Gray.
because of Donny van de Beek went out
No,
with
I
an
know.
injury in the warm-up.
I know. Yeah.
I just
and
thought the
and I
people
know
should
he-
know.
And I know he scores. I don't like to see anything about it. Chances for West Ham early. Fornals probably had the biggest one. But, Everton able to hold their own for most of this game. They were able to get it in West Ham's box.
Yeah,
Couldn't do a ton with it.
they looked.
But I would
a
say
lot
they
better.
looked the better side from about 15 to 30 minutes.
Yeah,
They looked better. But all it takes is one Aaron Cresswell free kick to the upper 90 to put West Ham up 1-0.
that was filth.
That was dirty. There was nothing Mr. Pickford could do on that one. Richarlison wasting chances. Had a couple, especially in the 40th minute. Gets in behind, outside the boot. It was just a laser. Why
Yeah,
are you shooting it so
was-
hard from there? Just place it.
It was close.
And Antonio with another chance. Wasted. It was a little too tight. It was tough. It was a tough one. But
Yeah, tight angle, rounding the keeper.
any thoughts on the first half in this one?
I was overall, all I really have to say is I was surprised that Everton looked as good as they did. I mean, they weren't great, but by Everton standards, they were better than what they've been playing like. And I thought maybe it was because they're playing on the road. I mean, Everton haven't got really points away, but
They're the worst away team in the Premier League. They have 6 points.
yeah.
They have 6 points away from Goodison. That is wild. You know who the worst home team is, out of curiosity? Just a
Worst
guess.
home
You get one
team.
guess. We're not going to spend too long on it.
I am going to say.
I wouldn't have guessed it. But that's...
What?
uh.
Crystal Palace.
No. Not even close.
Brentford.
I think they're middle of the table. No, you don't get any more guesses. And it's not Brentford. It's Watford. They have 7 points. at
Oh,
home.
Watford. Okay, I forgot they were a team.
Yeah, that's
Should-
kind of how I
should say
felt. I
Burnley.
didn't. Yeah, I would have guessed Burnley or Norwich. What was I gonna say? Second half.
Second half.
Everton's still looking okay.
Yeah, Calvert-Lewin hitting the crossbar. 50th
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah, they got to get him going. I don't know. It might be too late. It might just be too late in the season.
I mean, there's, in terms of the number of games they have left, there's still time.
There's still time. But yeah, we'll see about that.
Then,
Especially with Frankie Lampard.
53rd minute, Hank's guy, Holgate,
Wow.
scores a volley.
What a deflection.
Big deflection.
But
But
what terrible defense.
Hank was going wild. He said, I've always
Sure.
rated him as a 6.
Shirt was off. Spinning it around.
Yep.
It was a heck of a time. And then West Ham scored 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
So any semblance of Everton getting something out of this was now gone. Bowen, what can you say? And you know what? Even though Antonio doesn't get an assist here, he doesn't score. At least, shot or goal contribution there with that shot on net, gets the rebound.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then Everton. How about this?
Shambles.
How about a fat third straight game with a red? How does
it
that
keep happening?
How do you do this?
How does it keep happening? Michael Keane. Oh, my God. This guy.
I don't know what to say.
I don't either. It's just.
You just shake your head
Shaking my head.
and you laugh.
Shaking my head.
Shaking me damn head.
Because, in the back of your mind, at any point, this can happen. This is classic Michael Keane. He's just a walking red card of stupid mistakes.
I mean, I don't know if you even sell him to get off him. Like, who is he going to? Back to Burnley when Burnley's in the championship?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I genuinely don't remember anything else that happened in
I
this
don't
game.
either.
I had
my
no
notes just end.
Mine did too.
Nothing happens, I guess.
West Ham, see it out, 2-1. Not a fantastic performance, but honestly, Everton, this was one of their best performances in a while. Something to build off of, even better than their win against Newcastle. So, and we see how Newcastle's played with their game against Tottenham, which we'll talk about soon. But
Yeah.
West Ham, still a little deceptive in terms of you beat Everton 2-1. Still, not only a solid result, but
They got the job done.
yeah, the performance was fine.
Well-
Let's talk about a not fine performance by one team and a fantastic performance by another. Tottenham, Newcastle, to the lineups. Read them off, Sammy.
Hugo Lloris, Romero, Dyer, Davies, Doherty, Højbjerg, Royale, Bentancur, Son, Kane, Kulishevsky. For Newcastle, Dubravka, Schär, Target, Manquillo, Danburn, Jolinton, Shelby, Willock, ASM, Chris Wood, and Scrappy-Doo, Ryan Fraser.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know. Tottenham kind of felt a little more comfortable on the ball. Tottenham are listening to us.
They
'cause
were.
They're comfortable on the ball. We called out Kane and Son back in January. We said, "What is this? What is this season you're putting together? Like, this is impressive or something."
they need that third guy to unlock Kane and Son. Kulishevsky comes in, does it. I mean, they're listening to us, so maybe we should try and sabotage Tottenham.
You're saying tell them to lose? I don't know.
Here's what you got to do. Start Emerson Royale up front.
Well, first off, he's always been up front.
Yes.
Yeah, I just thought that the one thing that I noticed about Tottenham, which is probably the only thing you can really point to about this game that might be bad for them, they gave a lot of space between their midfield and their defense when Newcastle actually had the ball. So there was some room there. They did okay, kind of taking away the wide space, I guess. But that central area, there's plenty of space for Newcastle to exploit. Newcastle just not able to do it in this game. Newcastle, though, they win a free kick, edge of the box. And Fabian Schär.
What?
He's good. Is he good for a Rocket a year now?
Yeah, I guess so. This is kind of the week of unlikely goal scorers. You got Cresswell banging the free kick in.
Yes. Runs all the way down the field to celebrate.
And that is where things took a turn for the worse.
Tottenham responded with a goal of their own. Hell of a cross by Son. But they're just piling on pressure. Flicked header to the far post by Mr. Ben Davies. Why is he up there? Unbelievable. Shouldn't even be up there. That's why Newcastle are so thrown off. They're like, what's he doing in here?
Ben Davies. Again, another unexpected goal scorer.
1-1 at half. And then Tottenham, Conte had all the answers at halftime for how to combat
I guess
this.
So. He was given the gospel.
Cheap giveaway leads to a Tottenham goal. Kane with the intercept, and he plays the ball to Doherty. I mean, Kane kind of just able to walk from midfield when he gets the ball all the way over to the far side of the field. He crosses it back post for Doherty. Great ball from Kane. He was really good in the second half. I know he only has the one assist, but he was doing everything in terms of dropping back and pulling the strings.
Yeah.
Newcastle caught out as Kane sends Kulishevsky through. He pushes past Dan Burn. Not easy to do, those long legs. Up the wing, squares it for Son. 2-1. It just felt like Newcastle were really getting caught out, and I wasn't sure as to why. I mean, part of it was just their, it might be like a giveaway or something, but it's just strange that their midfield either wasn't, I guess they kind of were, and it's just Tottenham outplayed them, but going at Tottenham, and then these passes were just pulling them out of position, I guess, is probably the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm. And then they just couldn't.
But I just thought Newcastle was a little better than that, and I have a tear in my eye.
Yeah.
Wishing that they were a little better than that.
They couldn't regain their shape after getting pulled out.
Mm-hmm. To say the least.
Then the cross comes in, and
they were just one step behind Tottenham. It felt like Emerson Royale goal
up front. Yep.
Yeah.
Big
Matty Target, rough game. He allowed the Davies one, then he allowed this one. Rough.
Throwing him back to match week 1 against Watford.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, that was bad. Tottenham get a 5th. Stevie Bergwijn played in behind. Newcastle just disorganized. It was more like one guy from the back line would step up, and that completely threw everything off, is kind of how that went.
Yeah.
And it just allows the space, play a guy in behind. He can square it to someone else. He can shoot it. So 5-1. Fantastic performance by Son, Kane. Kuszewski did pretty good. Doherty, great game. Even Emerson Royale can score.
Yeah.
Unbelievable performance by Tottenham.
Yeah, I think
especially to rally after going down 1-0.
It shows they're kind of ramping up the top 4 pressure, putting 5 on Newcastle like that. On the other side, Newcastle, we've talked about it. Newcastle need to learn how to respond after tough games, and so far they've kind of just spiraled after their good run of form.
Yeah. Newcastle, I think, are just going to coast till the end of the year, and I think the writing's kind of on the wall. They'll replace Howe, I would suspect, and they'll bring in a few more guys, offload some guys because the quality's just not there. But honestly, mad props, hell of a run to Newcastle. And these guys, the group of guys that got there to get the job done for Team Saudi Arabia to keep them up, keep them happy. You know who's not happy? You.
Let's just get this done with.
Not in the face. Not in the face.
This
My
This one
club.
stinks.
My club.
I should have came on wearing the Crystal Palace jersey.
You should. I told you. You have the Etse kit, and then you had the Rob Holding kit over it. Palace, Guaita, Mitchell, Gahey, Anderson, Klein, Kouyaté, Ayew, Zaha, Schlupp, Gallagher, Mateta. For Arsenal, we have Ramsdale, White, Gabriel, Cedric, Tavares, Partey, Saka, Odegaard, ESR, Xhaka, and Lacazette.
Huge miss. Tierney out for the rest of the season. Has to have knee surgery.
Yeah, tough scene.
And we've seen
Now you're out
Tavares.
You're out back. Both fullbacks pretty much. You have your backups in. That's what I'm trying to say. If my brain could function.
Yeah, I'm looking at this lineup. I see Nuno Tavares, Cedric Suarez against some real tough competition. Mateta, Gallagher, Schlupp, Zaha, Ayew. Palace really just going all out.
Mateta looks like he's like 35.
Yeah, he does. And he's
He's
really,
like 24, 23, I think.
really tall and lanky.
Yeah, he is.
But I was scared just before this game started.
The first 10 minutes, honestly, were shit. They were, shit for both sides. Nothing really happened. A lot of just poor passing and not much going on.
And one team changed, and one team continued on being god-awful.
The ref communication stuff, for like 1 second, I was about to just have...
Triggered.
Yeah, I was about to start freaking out. Free kick sent, far post, headed across the box by Anderson. Poor marking on Mateta, 1-0 Palace. Yeah, it was just strange. Just two guys committing to one, leaving Mateta wide open.
Yeah.
Normally Arsenal pretty sound on headers in general, or set pieces in general too, but just strange. Caught out.
That's what I was going to say. I was surprised that the goal came from a set piece. Less surprising coming from open play, but disappointing to come out with the set piece goal there. And
Yeah.
Arsenal just continued. The passing was non-existent. It looked like they couldn't complete one pass. Thomas Partey was having a disaster class.
He was overloaded. They needed a little more help in midfield, as well as he's been playing and as important as Obi. They needed a little more help in midfield because Palace have, like, no matter how good you are, there's like three guys you have to have to match.
And they're just going to all-out press on you and make you make mistakes. And that's something Arsenal has struggled with.
They either had to go a little longer with their passing, not from Partey to whoever, but I mean maybe from the back line, kind of get it over that midfield in the air, or sending like Smith Rowe and stuff through, because it just was not going to go well. And Partey playing on that level is right in line with Gallagher, in line with Mateta, in line with all those guys. So
yeah, and I thought Odegaard looked pretty awful as well. Seemed
he
like
had a rough
couldn't complete a pass. Tavares was getting roasted down the wing. Not really surprising to see that.
Yep. Palace in control of the game. Second goal comes from a through ball. Not in behind, but a miscalculation from Gabriel leaves a big gap.
Yeah.
Kind of leaves Ramsdale out to dry.
That was really poor from Gabriel.
Struggled to get any attack going, honestly. It was mainly the passing, I thought, in the first half. Second half passing got better, but first half they couldn't get any passing going whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mateta with another great chance to score, but could not convert before the end of half. Second half, Anderson free kick. Palace were fully committed to the week of random goal scorers. They're like, here's Joachim Anderson free kick, edge of the box. And it was honestly a good shot. Good save by Ramsdale, too.
Yeah, it was. Just one note.
No.
Nuno Tavares getting subbed off at halftime for Martinelli. I think that just goes to show they'd rather have Granit Xhaka play left back.
Yeah. Well, their attack looked better. ESR, especially, kind of making stuff happen. but Odegaard not taking his chances. ESR not even taking chances, even though they looked a little better.
And Palace were able to drop back, set up shop, make it difficult to get into the box.
The wild Wilf run of our lives out of nowhere, resulting in a pen, was truly incredible. I didn't know what to say when I was watching it. I was like, I think they're going to score their third here shortly, and I was waiting for it, and then I saw that. I was like, this is how it happens?
And you see Odegaard running back, and you're like, oh, no, don't.
That's what happened.
Don't do it.
They should have had another defensive-minded midfielder or something in there. But
It's
even
almost like what I said in January. We got to sign some depth, otherwise we're going to be in trouble.
yeah, letting everyone leave.
I knew this was coming. I knew it was coming.
How could this happen?
I look at this game, a Monday night game at Selhurst against Palace. I could feel that. As an Arsenal fan, you get like these bad vibes, and you're like, oh,
Flashbacks.
this is not going to be good. And then you see the starting lineup, no Tierney, and it's just like, it's begun.
Wolf converts. You didn't have the unfortunate Wolf Norwich penalty. Double chance for Arsenal. ESR shot blocked off the line on the second one. And then Nketiah hitting the bar to round it out.
Yeah.
Just kind of how Arsenal night went. 3-0. Palace, amazing performance. Although their competition, not that great. Arsenal and Chelsea literally had like the same game pretty much this week. It was very strange.
Yeah.
As far as Arsenal go, blow to the morale, or they use it as a rally call. Two ways to look at it.
I think with the injuries, Thomas Partey also having an injury, likely going to be out for possibly the rest of the season. If, potentially could be back for a couple games, maybe one game at the end. So that's huge. He's been important. Tierney, huge miss because there's really no one to fill in that spot.
Yeah.
I think this one's a real blow. And I think the pain for me comes from the fact, like, Arsenal were playing so good, but I knew it was coming. This tough schedule.
We'll see. You never know.
Arsenal,
The Premier League is
bound to
very
have injuries.
unpredictable. You can never tell. Chelsea could crap their pants and not make the top four. Wouldn't rule it out. Tottenham could surge to top three. Wouldn't rule it out. Arsenal could surge up. Who knows? West Ham. I could see West Ham getting in the top four.
Yeah, I don't
The
think,
only thing I could not see is United because they are trash.
I don't think Arsenal. I think it's going to be a rough end of the season for Arsenal.
Well, it's more about the memes and dreams we had along the way, wasn't it?
It's the hope that kills you as an Arsenal fan.
Well, I'll tell you what. It could be worse. You could be Everton because they had to sit through 2 games this week.
Yeah.
Burnley,
Two fat ills.
Everton, to the lineups. Sammy.
For Burnley, Nick Pope, Charlie Taylor, Tarkovsky, Roberts, Nathan Collins. No more Mr. Long getting in there. What was his name? Josh Long?
No, it was Kevin Long.
Kevin
Kev,
Long.
Big Kev.
Big Kev. Shout out Big Kev. Brownhill, Lennon, Westwood, Cornet, Veghorst, and Jay Rodriguez, also known as Jay Rodriguez in Espanol.
No.
For Everton, Pickford, and brace yourselves for possibly the worst backline you'll ever hear. John Joe Kenny, Mikalenko, Godfrey, Branthwaite. There, I said it. Everybody, you can open up your ears again. Holgate, Doucouré, Iwobi, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, and Anthony Gordon up front.
Yeah, that's wild. That's some out of a sci-fi book or something. That back line.
That back line, that should be illegal.
Not in a good way. And not in a good way.
No, very bad. Like crimes against humanity bad.
Yeah, war crimes.
Yeah.
All Burnley early. Come close through Westwood and Collins. Everton defense kind of holding up. Even though we're memeing on them. It kind of held up a little bit. I just felt like Burnley were running every second and third ball in this game.
They were up for the game. What can
Yeah.
you say? Big relegation battle. The 6-pointer.
Well, they get their goal off a corner. And the corner was a result of a defensive error and then a poor clearance. So it allowed Lennon to force a corner, and then what do you know, Mr. Collins.
I don't know how he even scored that, honestly. The side
It was
foot
very strange.
somehow managed to sneak it in there.
But at least Everton responded. They responded. Gordon wins a penalty. You know, your guy, Rich Harlison,
Yeah,
heard of him?
It wasn't
the Brazilian
who gave up
international.
the penalty. Oh, I think it was Westwood who gave up the penalty, not Loughton.
Yeah.
Loughton wasn't even playing. Yeah, it was slightly soft, but Westwood was just on the wrong side, and whenever you make contact from that side, it's going to look bad. And up steps the most cocky relegation tier player I've ever seen. The celebration to draw
He
level
was feeling amazing.
at Burnley, like,
He was feeling himself.
this guy's got to be the most smug person ever.
He was feeling it. Yeah, I thought Everton kind of ramped it up after that, too. They had a couple big chances through Richarlison. He was good in the sense that he was all over the place and doing stuff, but also, like, he needs to convert these chances, so it's not really that great. So it depends how you look at that game for Richarlison. I thought Everton's D tightened up after the goal, and they kind of made Burnley earn it and attack. It wasn't as easy. But then before the end of the first half, we get another bare minimum penalty. The little clip by Lennon on Mikolenko slotted another penalty.
Same
Richie
celebration.
Richarlison with a shot and a goal.
And he's feeling twice as nice after that penalty.
He's feeling amazing. And
Pen
Everton
Merchant.
up 2-1. They have to be thinking, see this out. Relegation threat significantly drops off because they do have a game in hand on Watford still, and they're 5 point. I think they've been 5 points out of Watford, maybe 6. Burnley start the second half much like the first half, kind of just ramping it up. But Richarlison, he's got a big chance to make it 3, puts it wide. How is that not on net, Sam?
That could be the chance of the season, honestly. If he puts that home, then it's a different game.
If he puts that home, he's doing every Fortnite dance in the book.
Yeah.
And he's not coming back in the game.
Patrick Rick.
This is when it all turned for Everton. You ready? John Joe Kenny, Shoss, off the crossbar.
Off the crossbar.
Off the crossbar. And
with
Everton,
that,
anyone who listens to this podcast and knows about the Shoss,
the Shoss.
they know that the Premiership Perusal gods that may be have now shunned Everton, and they say, no Shoss for you. This is the turning point of the game.
You know what it's like? It's like in a movie where they show the clock like striking midnight or something, and it's just like an ominous like ding, 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 and you're like, oh, the end is near. The end is near, Everton.
The end is near.
And out comes the Grim Reaper. Hey, Rodriguez.
They respond with a goal. Charlie Taylor, a.k.a. Chuck Taylor, somehow, I don't know, they were like holding the ball, and then all of a sudden, Everton's line was so high that Burnley's like, actually, let's just play a through ball all the way through. They sent Taylor up the wing. He squares it. It gets through 3 or 4 guys on Everton, right to Mr. Rodriguez. That was nice.
Yeah. On one hand, it was a good run by Charlie Taylor, but on the other hand, it was like, how is that even possible?
No one knows, and I don't think anyone's allowed to know.
No, I don't think so.
Richarlison hitting the bike. Nice save by Pope at the near post. Everton just started turning the ball over.
Got a little panic.
I think it was the last like 10, 15 minutes or so. I kind of started to notice it more. And then this was it right here. 1, the ball's just hoofed forward by Tarkowski. The second action is Pickford clears it rather than send it downfield again. Godfrey, clearance was absolutely terrible.
Ugh.
It's pretty much a layoff pass.
Yeah, nightmares.
To Vidra, who squares it. Maxwell, Cornet, 3-2, Burnley. That's your game, folks.
Scenes at Turf Moor.
That
Burnley
is
supporters going mental.
that is your game, folks. 3-2. Burnley pull within. Can we get the table? Is it 1?
Let's get a table.
I think it's 1 point.
Let's get the table. Burnley, 18th place, 1 point behind Everton. Level on games.
Wow. Wow.
Burnley go to Norwich, and Everton face United. I don't know if they go to Norwich. They play Norwich.
Yeah,
next.
they have the little canary down in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was it for Everton, right?
They do go to Norwich, and Everton is at home to United.
Why is that the prime? Is that prime Saturday game?
It might be.
The
no,
one above it.
This is
Oh.
early because this is local time. 6:30 a.m.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. That could have been bad.
Yeah.
We ready? Team of the week?
Team of the week.
Tough decision on goalie. Wanted to go Raya to, commemorate the great performance, but Chelsea's attack just I don't think was good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Saw, Doherty, Romero, Anderson, Johnny Otto, Gindogan, Madison, Jan Alt, Kane, and Buemo, Son. Did I miss anyone that stands out to you?
I think Mateta might have slipped in there, but it was a tough week for
The forwards
attacking
were,
players.
Yeah. Yeah, to say the least. It was loaded. All right. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
Let's get down to business to predict the scores. First game.
Newcastle.
Tomorrow, Friday game.
Tomorrow. It's a Friday game.
Everyone
Wolves.
loves a spicy Friday game. Newcastle and Wolves.
I don't know. At St. James, I don't have much faith in Newcastle right now. It's the Castore battle, though, of the kit manufacturer.
The Castore derby.
Whoever wins gets
to keep Castore.
yes. I mean, Wolves been playing solid again. They had a few losses, kind of dropped off. Now they've had not the best of performances, but good enough performances.
Mm-hmm.
Newcastle, I got to see it right here. This is the last time I even remotely believe in you. I'm still going to go Wolves, but I'm only going to go 2-1 Wolves.
I'm at the point with Newcastle where they got to show me that they can win again before I put trust in them. So I'm going to say 1-0 Wolves.
Yeah. Yeah, their defense right now is kind of stinky, besides our guy Dan Burn.
Mm-hmm.
Everton, United, Goodison.
Early kickoff.
This is going to be terrible.
This is going to be terrible.
This might be worse than the last week's early kickoff of Watford, Liverpool.
Yeah, probably.
What are you looking for in this one?
Basically, which team sucks the most, really. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any semblance of one team like dominating midfield, I would say that team's probably going to have the better chance to win. But I can't say which team that is because I truly have no clue.
I
guess
faith in
the
either.
best aspect of any of these teams, I guess, is United's attack. So I'm going to have to pick United because that's, you keep it as simple as possible and assume that they can. But I don't know, Everton's defense played a little better against West Ham and Burnley, yet let's see how Everton responds. That was a insanely demoralizing loss to Burnley when you had it. You had it. You blew it. I'm going to go United 3-1.
I'm going to say 3-0 United.
Oh, that's too much. I changed my pick now, 2-1 United. There's no way.
You didn't like the 3 coming out by
No.
United.
When we're both saying 3 for United, it means they might get 1. If not, it's going to be 0-0.
Yeah.
Arsenal, Brighton.
Another trap game for Arsenal.
I don't want to hear it.
Well,
It's like
we'll see. We'll see.
We'll
see.
They can't score.
We'll see.
They can't score, dude.
Well, maybe it'll be 0-0.
Anyone... That's not possible. They don't allow those at the Emirates anymore. They banned them. Mikel Arteta, he stands there with his arms crossed, and then he points to the sign that says no goalless draws.
No goalless draws.
Should we talk a little bit about Brighton and how people are still acting like they had a good year, and now whatever they've had has completely been washed away by this
it's just
stretch.
proof that no one actually watches Brighton. They think that Graham Potter is a great manager and that Brighton are a good team, where they've been one of the worst teams in the league in the second half of the season, if not the worst.
I still feel a little soft spot in my heart for Graham Potter, only because Brighton's quality of player is well shit.
I don't know. He really. I was defending him, and then when he said that the fans need to stop yelling "shoot," it's like, dude, would you watch your team? They're terrible.
I'll still defend him a little bit, but not on that part. That part's indefensible. Your team has to shoot. What do you mean? Your fans want to see goals, and it's not just they want to see goals, they want to see wins. And in order to win, you have to shoot the ball.
Let me just
That'd be
say
like a
this.
basketball coach like complaining that his team is like the slowest pace, and they like get to like barely 100 points a game or something. They're like, look, what do you mean shoot? What do you mean shoot? We got to work for the right shot.
Let me just say this. Friendship ended with Graham Potter. Jesse Marsh is my new best friend.
Oh, no.
I don't know if anyone else saw
Disavowed.
this, but there was a great video on Leeds' Instagram, I think. Jesse Marsh hitting the Techers on the sideline, absolutely saucing the boss all over João Livramento,
No.
left in shambles. Jesse Marsh, the sauce boss. You heard it here first.
I think this is our divorce from Graham Potter, and
you
you're
see
going
that drip, bro?
You're going Jesse Marsh, and I'm
Graham Potter looks like a homeless man. Jesse Marsh looks like a
Graham
intellectual.
Potter looks like a homeless man. I mean, he might be homeless. You never
Yeah,
know.
Pretty soon, be living with the seagulls.
No, I'm all out on Graham Potter since you are now. So you have Marsh, and then to end the year, I'm gonna be ride or die with Sean Dyche.
I love Sean Dyche.
Too late. Too late. You don't get to do that.
I have a picture on my phone of the Royal Dyche.
Yeah, I have a lot of pictures on my phone of Sean Dyche. I'm not happy about it. Back to this Arsenal Brighton game. Come on, snap. Keep it snappy.
It's the Royal Dyche.
Keep it snappy.
For those of you listening at home, Google the Royal Dyche. You'll thank me later.
Yeah, I mean,
Southampton, Chelsea.
No, what are you talking about? We didn't do Arsenal Brighton.
Oh, 0-0.
You really think 0-0?
Yes,
There's no way.
0-0.
I'm going 2-1 Arsenal. I think Brighton somehow score, and it doesn't even matter. But I will say what to watch in that game will be Arsenal's attack. They got to get it going. Southampton, Chelsea, at St. Mary's. Southampton love to spoil the big teams, especially at home. We've talked about this since the beginning of time. Chelsea, a little bit shambolic right now.
Yeah.
Losing
Coming
to
off
Brentford.
a tough loss in the Champions League.
Yeah, losing to Real Madrid. It's one of those where they either come out and dominate, and you'll be able to tell right away, or Southampton's getting a 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
Yeah.
I would look for any semblance of an attack from either side. I'm worried about both. There might be like a fringe goal from like a defender or something like that, but I'm literally talking attack as in strikers. I want to see a striker score a goal in this game, but I'm afraid that's not going to happen.
But it's going to be who you least expect.
Shane Long.
And
Romelu Lukaku.
I guess we both expect it. Yeah, 1-1, Shane Long, Lukaku. There you
89th and 88th minute. Yeah, I'll go 1-1. I need to see it from Chelsea.
We're uniting on this prediction. We're going 1-1.
Watford leads your guy Jesse Marsh. The Vic. Can I take Woy?
Can
I take Woy as my
Speaking of
manager?
cooking, anyone see that video of Woy in training just
Drilling
dropping
in.
a dime? He's better
That
than
was so
half the
good.
Watford team.
He literally is, unironically.
Man, what a ball. The guy's like 9,000 years old.
Yeah, and he's threading the ball, and he's an owl.
Yeah, and he's just cooking.
Yeah, this one, man, if I'm watching for one thing, it's how effective Leeds can be when they're trying in the 30 minutes where they're really running around.
When they activate the NOS.
Watford if you're going to stay up, you have to get more than 7 points at home. Like, you have to get a result here.
Yeah, there's a big Big game for both teams.
I need Emmanuel Dennis to show up.
Yeah, where's he been?
Leeds do not have a good defense. So I'm going to need Emmanuel Dennis to show up.
Dennis hasn't scored in like the past 7 games.
Someone had a really wild one. I think Antonio might be 11.
Well, that's not surprising.
It's still wild. 11's a long time to go.
He's been terrible.
He's been terrible, but when you're getting like every start and you're playing the majority of games, 11's a long time to go without
and
getting
your team's
one.
not half bad either.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah. At least Watford, they aren't very good. So
I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. I think Dennis does score, but I also think Rodrigo has a banger.
2-0 leads.
If anything, I'm feeling Watford. I'm leaning slight Watford, but we're going draw. Villa, Tottenham, the battle of the most inconsistent teams in the Premier League. Here we are. We're back.
Yeah, this just seems like kind of a curveball Villa win for some reason or another.
It really does because we're hyping up Tottenham, but
I don't have that much faith in Villa.
Yeah. I'll guarantee you this. I guarantee you it won't be a draw. How about that? I guarantee it's a win or a loss for either side.
Yeah.
If I'm watching for one thing here, it's how much Spurs rely on the counter. Because Villa are comfortable holding the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're going to pin him in. Or Villa want to sit back and say, you know what, Tottenham, how about you hold the ball? And we'll see how good you are holding the ball. And then we strike on the counter. So definitely different ways I could see this game playing out. I'm going to go with a 2-0 Tottenham victory. Don't feel great about it.
Seeing Aston Villa defend the Wolves counterattack in the last match has me feeling not so good about Aston Villa's defense.
But maybe they try so hard they're like, look how bad we did. Now we have to fix this no matter what it all costs. So then they take that away.
I'm going to say 4-1 Spurs.
Wow. Disgusting.
Wow. Into Sunday games. Brentford versus West Ham. London derby.
Brentford Community Stadium.
Can Brentford do it again? I wouldn't rule it out.
I wouldn't rule it out too because West Ham sometimes are not very good against bad teams. Brentford looking to go for the double over West Ham this year. Stole that one early in the season with Wisa. It's all about the Eriksson, man.
Yeah.
If he's out there, they got a chance. If he's not, well, there's chances significantly drop off. Jared Bowen is going to be out there again, I assume, even though he just came back from a broken foot.
Yeah,
and they're playing him all the time. This feels like a draw.
3-2 Brentford.
I'm going 1-1.
3-2 Brentford. Come on, you bees.
Leicester, Palace, King Power.
This is a tough one.
Yeah, different styles going on here. I like the Palace midfield edge, even though Leicester played a little better midfield-wise last game. Palace defense held up well against Arsenal. Can they do it against Leicester, which sometimes can be not so good, but sometimes they just have such high quality randomly from like Harvey Barnes and stuff that it can just pop. I think this is one where I'll wake up and see that Leicester unfortunately won because I'm a fan of Crystal Palace fan club. I'm going to go with a draw though. We're going to go 1-1.
I'm going to say
1-1 draws out here.
I'm going to say 2-1 Leicester. I think Palace might just drop off a little bit from the
That's what I'm worried about. Arsenal. I just can't bring myself to say it. Norwich, Burnley, this is massive.
6-pointer again, back to back.
Is it really a 6-pointer or is it just a 3 for Burnley?
Well,
I think it's just a 3.
3. Okay, it's 3. It's
a big 3.
battle.
It's 3 in all caps.
Yes.
You spell out the number 3.
Yeah. Big 3.
The big 3. Yeah, I mean, I'd tell you what I'm looking for in this game, but you never know with Norwich. Maybe a little Maxi Cornet fast play on the counter. But I feel like Burnley could easily just hold possession like they did against that Brighton game and just pin Norwich in, but I doubt that'll happen. I think it'll be a little more back and forth, probably like 60-40 Norwich, maybe 66-33 Norwich in possession, which is bad for my eyes.
I think it's going to be 0-0.
I'm thinking 2-1. Burnley. Sean Dyche.
Okay.
I just told you that.
Yeah.
I confess my love.
you
for Sean
gotta
Dyche.
back him. Back this man.
Me and Sam were talking about this week. It's like, do we cheer for our predictions from the beginning of the year to be right? Because we said who would go down: Norwich, Watford, Burnley. Or do we cheer for Burnley so Everton go down? These are the decisions that we have to make. Imagine having to be
There's
us.
only one right choice, and that's cheering for Burnley. And Sean Dyche. Sean Dyche's man.
You got Jesse. You got your Jesse Marsh.
Screw
chant over
Everton.
there.
Screw Everton. Richarlison, he bothers me too much. He's way too cocky for how bad he sucks. £50 million for a penalty merchant.
I saw a thing. First off, I saw like a little recap thing on Twitter about what was going on after the Everton game. And you know, they have those Twitter spaces where like people can go and like talk and stuff.
Yeah.
Everton fans, I saw clips there like crying. Not okay.
Oh, that's rough.
There was something I was going to say. Oh, it was like if Everton sold all their guys, like who's even big money guys that they're selling? And it was like maybe Richarlison to like a La Liga side for like, maybe you get your return. Probably not, but maybe.
Probably Pickford.
Yeah, but for a keep, how much? Like, Tottenham's buying him for like 15 or 20?
Yeah, I'm just thinking like, who are you gonna get anything out of?
Calvert-Lewin for like 20 to 25. I mean, he's not having
someone
a good
would
year.
buy Gordon for sure. I think
They
someone
could
would
keep
probably
Gordon.
buy Doucouré as a backup.
Yeah, it'd be like 10 mil.
Maybe Alan goes back to Italy or something.
Yeah, for like 5.
back
yeah.
line.
Everyone's combined for like 50, and maybe you get Richarlison for like 25 to 30 is your big piece.
And whoever does
you know what
that's an idiot.
It would be Italy or Spain. It wouldn't be in the Premier League. I guarantee that. I swear this is the last thing that we'll move on. You know what I was thinking about? Richarlison, if it was like 2015, he would be leaving Everton to go to like Las Palmas with like Hesse or something. You remember that?
Yeah.
That seems like the perfect club for
The 2
Richarlison.
years of Las Palmas.
Yeah. That seems like the perfect club for Richarlison. Las
Yeah.
Palmas, I know you're listening. Get good again.
Get good.
Buy Richarlison. Make it happen. All right. Last game? Last game.
Last game.
Big one. City, Liverpool, could be for the title
Yeah.
at the Etihad. Liverpool, no one really talking about it, so it's a sneaky narrative. They're not playing super well, but they're doing enough. Is there any way they could get away with that against Man City? I think there's a small chance they could.
I think there's always a chance just because of how deadly the counterattack can be, and we've seen City can be vulnerable to the counterattack.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm just feeling more confident in the way City have been playing lately.
See, that I don't like to be in a place where I'm confident in City's attack, because then they drop that game on you where it just is João Cancelo having to swing the same cross in over and over and over. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I hate this. How can you not manufacture a goal? What are you doing?
Right.
I'm gonna say that City win this comfortably. I'm gonna go with a 2-0 victory.
I was thinking 2-0 as well.
Uh-oh.
Liverpool fans, you're in luck.
Yeah, pretty much.
The title is yours.
I could see it being a draw. See like a 1-1 draw too.
I mean,
but
there would be something very funny about Man City blowing the title.
losing it, and then it's at the Etihad. So you
Yeah.
effectively lose the title at your home stadium.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny.
Oh, 100%.
But Liverpool fans can be
Especially
very
since
annoying.
there's some sense. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, is like Liverpool fans are annoying, but at the same time, it's like, that's the thing. City will always be the beneficial of neutrals because no one cares about City. No one likes City. No one cares about City.
Yeah.
So you're just like, I guess City.
Yeah,
That's how it'll always be.
absolutely.
Sucks to suck for your club, City. Any prediction before we head out? Any big one? Besides Shane Long and Lukaku scoring in the same game?
I'm going to say Harvey Barnes scores against Crystal Palace.
I love that prediction.
Yes.
I love it.
There
All
we go.
right. Until next week.
Woo, woo, woo.
Adios, mis amigos.
What will Everton do next week? Tune in to find out.
Richarlison to Las Palmas.